Hi, teachers and friends. So, I got quite a few requests on how I do my 12-week plan, how I plan each quarter out, and how I do my long term plan. So, this is just a short video on how I'm going to plan out my quarterly goals as well as my long term goal and how I implement it throughout the term. So, let me flip the camera around and let's get started. The first page is my favorite page. When I open my plan, it gets me excited and wanting to plan. It just has my name and then my focus word, which is very important. That keeps me focused and it reminds me of my goal for this year or my vision for this year. So this year's word is be prepared. So last year's word was growth mindset, and the whole theme around my classroom was about having a growth mindset, being understanding, being kind, and bringing all those things together. This year, I'd like it to be prepared. And then I just have a picture of my family, which is my heart, my anchor. So this page is just so pleasing to look at and it wants me to plan. Then we come to the page that I've got the most questions about and that everybody wanted, most of the people or the questions I got was regarding this, which is my vision, my long-term goal, be prepared and set boundaries. I'm someone that struggled to set boundaries. I can't say no, so this year I'm going to be working on being prepared and setting boundaries. Now, like most of you know, I've read the book on a 12-week goal, and they speak about having a vision, a long-term goal, and then breaking it up into 12 weeks, which is your quarters. And I thought that was perfect for a teacher because our job runs in quarters. So this will be just so brilliant for us. Most of you think, why do you need a vision or a goal, a long-term goal? For me, I've been using mine for the last 4 years. This will be my fourth year using a vision in my classroom. It just gives me focus on what is important and what I want to achieve this year. A year can be long and a lot of things can come up and things can get you all under the weather. But having a goal and having a focus, you then get having a vision gets you focused on what is important. It just made those difficult moments seem so much easier with knowing why I'm doing this, having my vision all set out. I know the education department also has a vision for this year, and their vision is the year of learning. So they've released that this year will be the year of learning due to the fact that so much learning has been lost due to COVID. And they've worked out their 12 goals as well for the year. So mine is be prepared and set boundaries. My first term, now I've taken that long-term goal and I've broken it up into 4 goals, one for each term. So first term, I'll be looking at having a classroom management plan. So I've been having a classroom management plan for the last 3 years that worked perfectly, smoothly. There wasn't much changes I had to make. There was 1 or 2 that I had to adapt. But last year, I had to change my whole plan. So last year was a very difficult year with regards to my classroom management because it was so an uncertain year with COVID. And my focus came in nicely to be understanding, to be mindful. Really worked last year, especially the fact that I had to change my classroom management plan quite a bit. This year I'm more excited because I have more experience of last year and this year will be the same like last year. So I'm just building on what I've learned last year and taking it from there. By the end of first term, I want to make sure my classroom management plan is implemented and it's running smoothly. Then second term, I will be looking at my admin. I want to set up an admin plan and make sure most of my admin is sorted for the year and have systems in place. For third term, I'm looking at redoing all and organizing all my learning material. So things like my shadery, my reading, science of reading stuff that I've just found last year. I want to organize that. I want to organize my life skills and things like that. Get me some nice theme packs. I see some amazing teachers are selling theme packs. Get me a few of that and organize it. And then my fourth term, I'm not sure. So I've put sticky notes so that I can always write it. And when I'm more certain, I can remove it and put it on. So this year, we're looking at having a classroom management plan. So teachers, if you don't know what a classroom management plan is or you're uncertain, please keep an eye on my Instagram. I will be adding in more things about what a classroom management plan is. Please don't get it wrong. A lot of people think a classroom management plan is having procedures, rules, reward, and consequences. No, no. There's so much more to it. There's a whole lot more, as in the admin forms part of that, time management, behavior management. Everything forms part of your classroom management plan because that is your foundation for teaching. So if you'd like to know more about that, please stay tuned. Then I have worked out my year at a glance as well. The department is blue, so I made all the department stuff in blue, and the vision for the year I made in blue, so that can keep me focused on why I'm doing this. But my vision and the department's vision goes hand in hand because the more prepared I am, the more I'm able to make sure that learning is taking place. And then I have my school events is in green. So our school has only planned for the first 2 months. So that is in like our fundraisers and stuff. Then we come to the most important page. Once you have your vision and once you have your vision broken up into 4 segments, we now go and focus on the 12-week goal. Now, like I've mentioned before, I've just completed reading the 12-week year book. To be honest, I've listened to it on audiobooks. So I'm listening to the audio book and I've written it down. My husband has gotten me a copy of the book, but I've mostly listened to the book and made notes in my book as well as gotten printouts from Pinterest. So I've put down my goal again, having a classroom management plan, making sure I implement it and it runs smoothly. And then this goal will be set throughout all 4 terms, which is don't forget to set boundaries because I struggle to set boundaries. Once I have my first term goal, I then broke it up into 12 weeks. And my 12 weeks starts tomorrow because like you know, the school only have 10 weeks. So I've put my 10 weeks in green because that is my 10 weeks at school. So then I know exactly which week I am in for school. And then I've put my 2 weeks now in blue because I'm going to be doing much more admin. So let's have a closer look at that. So the 3rd till the 9th of January, which is week 1, I'll write out my classroom management plan, looking at arranging my classroom, looking at procedures, expectations, behavior management, lesson planning, admin, and all of those things that forms part of my classroom management. The week 2, I will be getting and making resources needed for my classroom management. Setting up my procedural posters, setting up my growth mind posters, and a few things I add into my classroom. Then week 1, which is the 17th till the 23rd, we only have 3 days of schooling. So for the 2 days, I will be setting up my classroom and we will be doing lesson planning for the whole term and setting up my board. So I will also be doing planning again in week 5 where I reflect on my planning and on my board and set it based on my learners' capabilities after we do assessment, the readiness assessment. Then week 2 when officially learning takes place, and the week 4 is my it's my week 4 but week 2 in school. So I will be introducing my classroom management plan and teaching procedures and routines and setting boundaries. Week 3, I will be teaching procedures for assessment. So I'll be doing my baseline assessment and my readiness assessment, and I'll teach them what is a assessment and how we go about doing it. Again, I do mine very different because of my growth mindset, things I implement in it. Then week 4 at school, which is my week 6, I will be revising and reteaching my classroom management plan. So I will have a look at it again and revise it, see what works, what don't work. And then we'll be discussing behavior management. Why am I waiting till week 4 to discuss behavior management? Because now I have a better understanding of my learners, who their behaviors, their ways, their personalities. Then week 5, we will reflect on my classroom management plan and look at my lesson planning and setting my board up and seeing what changes I need to make and what I need to edit. Week 6, I will set up my assessment for the term, and then I will I will teach again the changes I've made for my procedures and assessments and stuff like that. Then at week 7, I will start assessing my learners, and while we do assessment, I'll go over the procedures and routines, because by this time, by week 7, the kids have forgotten already, or it's not yet set in stone, so I will constantly revise and then reteach. So week 8, we'll reteach and give feedback, lots of feedback on the assessment and all of those things. By week 9, now this, please understand that assessment plans, those all form part of your classroom management plan. So I will be marking my assessment, and I will be reflecting on my kids, on my whole classroom management. I will reflect again and see where I can change and what we can do. Especially after the assessment, I'll have a better understanding of how they're doing academically. And in the last week, I'll reflect completely on my whole term, how my term went, if I achieved my goal, if it was not achieved, if I need to make any changes, and I will be doing reports and comments and admin. So remember, this is again falls part of my classroom management, and then just take it from there. So I hope this gave you a good idea of how I plan for my term. I feel more confident about going into my term because I know what I want to do each week. And from this weekly goals, I set it into my daily planner, in my school planner, but in my personal planner as well, so that I have more or less an idea. So teachers, that is how I planned out my term and my vision for the year. I hope you found this video useful and valuable, with lots of tips and ideas that you can use in your classroom. You don't need to take everything I do or do what I do. I know our teaching styles are different and we have different ways of doing things, but I hope you find this some ideas in here to help you. Please remember to set a long-term goal or a vision, because it does make your year so much better. And I wish you all an amazing year ahead, a blessed year filled with lots of wonderful things ahead. But set that vision for you so that it runs smoothly. Teachers, if you'd like to know more about my classroom management plan and how I plan to do that, please let me know. I'm always willing to share ideas and tips and things like that with you. I don't know everything, but I do know a few things that I'd love to share with you. So please let me know if you are interested. I hope you have a awesome 2 weeks holidays. Take the time, enjoy, relax, but don't forget, a little bit of planning can change your whole year. So if you can sneak a half an hour in somewhere to just get your mindset right and your planning all sorted, then why not? Anyways, thank you so much from me, and have an amazing holiday further.